Stranger danger, the little girls who got away, $4 million gold heist, and marquee messages for the whole community. WFMY News 2 at 11 is new and now.
Sort of cherish life a little bit more when bad situations happen, or the possibilities of bad situations as well.
My money has been taken out of my bank account. It's not fair, I don't like it, and I'm not happy.
We're just getting started here.
Somebody knew something. Somebody got some info from somebody that knew that was in that truck.
It jerks you pretty bad. It's scary.
Instead of time on Facebook, I spend time in the Facebook.
Serious topic. A stranger comes up to your child, offers a car ride, maybe some candy. Does your son or daughter know how to respond? Certainly worth a conversation, especially tonight. Since Christmas, this has happened 5 times to young girls in Guilford County at or near bus stops. Take a look at the map here. All of these incidents were south of I-40 and north of I-73, some in High Point, others in Greensboro. We're fortunate at everyone in these cases, all the girls did get away. WFMY News 2's Emily Spain spoke with one of the families, and you learned there have been 5 cases, not 4, as we were told last week.
Yeah, Frank, we also learned where some of those cases happened, including one at Southwest Guilford Middle School. And when the father in that case learned that 2 men offered his 6th grade daughter a ride, he wanted to go after them.
Grab the arm.
Steve Snyder teaches people how to defend themselves for a living, including his 6th grade daughter.
Sugar plums just don't dance in your head when you start thinking about bad things that can happen to your little girl.
So he wasn't too pleased to hear this.
Well, I was just walking home and I just finished crossing the corner and the people just came up and asked me if I wanted a ride.
Over the head.
Snyder asked us not to show his daughter's face since the 2 men who offered her a ride are still out there.
When I found out about it, my first reaction was not the best reaction, but to go looking for them.
Thanks to these lessons, she knew how to respond.
I started walking towards one of my friend's house, acting like it was like I lived there.
She isn't alone. Strangers have stopped 4 other young girls in Guilford County offering rides or candy near bus stops, but all of them knew to walk away and tell an adult.
We were blessed. It came out simple.
Thankful his daughter stayed away and took a lesson with her.
To be more aware of your surroundings, and because wherever you are, you're not always safe.
High Point Police and Greensboro Police do not believe that any of these cases are related at this point. And just to give you a description of the vehicles, in the case with Snyder's daughter, it was a silver truck. And in the most recent case in Greensboro, it was a burgundy cargo van. Frank?
And we talked to the Guilford County Schools Transportation Director, Jeff Harris. He says all the bus drivers are watching for and will be reporting any, quote, unusual activity. Today, Greensboro Police had some good news and bad news for Facebook followers. So the good news, according to today's Crime Stat Monday post, property crimes are down 18% so far this year. Compared to last year, burglary, theft, arson, car theft is what we're talking about. The bad news, though, violent crime is up 10% compared to this point last year. That includes murder, manslaughter, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. The FBI is looking for help after an armored car heist in Wilson County with a major price tag. $4 million in gold and silver are gone after 3 armed robbers apparently approached 2 armed guards who stopped on I-95.
I'm shaking. It is scary. Scary knowing, I could have ran into it or something, I'm on my way home.
It don't make sense. Not this close to home. It never happens this close to home.
Somebody knew something. Somebody got some info from somebody that knew that was in that truck.
The guards say the armored car had mechanical problems. They stopped, and that's when the robbers rolled up in a white van, tied up the guards, and forced them into the woods before the thieves made their getaway. The man accused of killing 3 college students near UNC could face the death penalty. The Durham County District Attorney says he'll seek the death penalty against 46-year-old Craig Stephen Hicks, who's charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. Police believe Hicks killed 2 UNC students and 1 NC State student over a parking space dispute at their condominium complex. But local and federal investigators have not officially ruled out other possible motives, including a possible religious hate crime. The 3 victims are Muslim. Hicks is an atheist. New search warrants show Hicks kept pictures and detailed notes on the condo's parking activity. Don't miss this in about 10 minutes. Police department blaming a 12-year-old boy for his own death. Plus, there's signs of faith, putting a different kind of message on the marquee and connecting with the community's hearts and spirits. Stick around for those stories. Well, this one is complicated. Here's a list of all the players in the Gate City transportation case, all with their own stories. So you have the owner accused of defrauding the government of millions. You have the employees whose paychecks were retracted after the company shut down. You have the customers, 5,000 people who used the service for medical transportation. And there's you, the taxpayer, because this case is about possible Medicaid fraud, and that would mean stealing from you. Today, the company's vehicles were seized in a federal shutdown. 2 Wants to Know's Tony Smith has a look at some of the investigators' evidence and the owner's side of the story.
Frank, in 2011, Gate City Transportation brought in about $500,000 in Medicaid business. Now, fast forward 3 years later, the dollar figure was above $10 million, and IRS investigators say virtually all was stolen.
On the 19th, my money was reversed out of my bank account.
$1,400 gone, and Alicia Rudd might never see it again.
It's not fair. I don't like it, and I'm not happy.
It's possible Alicia's paycheck was seized. The IRS is investigating her employer, Gate City Transportation.
Why do this to us?
Monday, federal and state investigators also seized vans and buses, the vehicles Gate City uses to transport disabled and low-income patients to doctors. WFMY News 2 obtained federal court documents where investigators say Gate City collected at least $19 million in fraudulent Medicaid claims. The search warrant says Gate City's Medicaid license expired in 2013, but the company was still billing customers for those services.
We're just getting started here.
Lot Clifford is the attorney for Gate City owner Roderick Jessup.
Be more accurate to say he has made some mistakes, but he has not intentionally done anything wrong.
The search warrant claims Jessup made several transfers from Gate City accounts into his personal accounts, including a $1 million deposit and more than $100,000 to buy a BMW and a tractor.
Gate City's been outsourcing their billing, Medicaid billing, since 2008, I believe, and something has gone off the rails. I'm not sure exactly what or how.
Court documents say Roderick Jessup put $10,000 of Gate City's money into a personal account labeled, quote, wedding account. Now, as for Gate City workers, most of them say they never saw any red flags or were aware of any wrongdoing.
Investigators seized Gate City's bank accounts, all of Jessup's accounts, and all but 3 of Gate City's vehicles. We'll keep you informed. New information tonight on the Greensboro sweepstakes crackdown. Today was it. Time for the more than 70 sweepstakes businesses in Greensboro to shut down or face charges. They told us all but 3 voluntarily did shut down on time.
And we were good to our word. We went out today. We have checked on basically everyone that we knew was in existence. We have confiscated over 30 pieces of equipment so far, and we still have several open investigations.
Officers confiscated machines and made 1 arrest at one of the 3 remaining parlors. Police tell us the other 2 are under investigation, and if officers find proof of illegal gambling, more arrests will happen, quote, soon. In December, GPD announced March 1st was the deadline for sweepstakes businesses to shut down, but gamers in Greensboro tell us they can still find places to play in other counties. Today was a new start for students from Haynes and Lawrence middle schools. 1,200 students from those 2 schools started classes for the first time in their new buildings. The Winston-Salem-Forsyth County School Board voted to move the students over parents' concerns about toxic contaminants underneath the old buildings. We checked in, and a district spokesperson tells us the move went smoothly. Parents helped teachers move their classrooms and set up their materials over the weekend. After days and days of snow and ice, students around the Triad will be spending a little more time in school this year. Several districts have already tacked on extra days to the end of the school year. At Guilford County, using 1 spring break day, but we're told as long as there are no more snow days, the GCS schedule will still include the state requirement of classroom hours, and there won't be any more changes. But new today, Alamede's Burlington schools did have more time to make up, and the district is going after almost all of spring break. You can see more on each district's school changes on WFMY News 2. From highs in the 60s, 50s and 60s, in fact, to lows near freezing and back up again. The temperatures this week throwing us all for a loop, yes? So time now to talk to Chief Meteorologist Grant Gilmore, who's mapped out this week's weather roller coaster.
Absolutely right, yeah, Frank. Buckle up and keep your hands within the vehicle because it's going to be one of those rides that could get a little interesting. 60 today. Tomorrow we drop down to 38 degrees. We're back up to near 67 degrees on Wednesday before we hang out on the low side of things. 38 on Thursday and Friday. Saturday gradually warming back up through the 50s. 55 degrees on Sunday before we start to slowly drop back down into the 40s as we head into the beginning of next week with 47 degrees by next Monday. Today was amazing. High temperatures right around 60 degrees. Cooling though, 43 degrees in Greensboro. Same with Burlington. Chance of rain builds in overnight, and with low temperatures near freezing, we do have something to talk about. That full forecast coming up.
Well, the freezing and thawing, the salting and snowing, that all adds up to more potholes on our roads. For now, crews are filling them with the cheaper temporary winter cement patches. The sturdier fix will come in the summer. In the meantime, if you hit a pothole, it could cost you.
It jerks you pretty bad. It'll scare you. Scare you bad. You don't notice the wear right away, but later on you just kind of start noticing it. Then you have to come and have it realigned. It's costly if you let it go too long.
Well, 2 Wants to Know did some digging, and if you're hoping the state will pay for that damage, it's not likely to happen. The state will only cover your costs if the state knew there was a pothole and still did not fix it. A reasonable time for fixing a pothole, their definition, 2 days after it's reported. In Greensboro, it's easy to report a pothole. You just use the Greensboro Fix It app or call it in. A sign from above or a sign out front. Signs of faith in the form of humor. The sign guy who hopes catching some attention outside will bring the faithful inside.